Okay, welcome. I'm just going to do an audio test and make sure you can hear me. I can hear myself a little delay, so it'll make me start slurring in a second. But it would be great if someone in any of the chats, YouTube or Facebook, could just say you can hear me okay. As far as I can tell, you can. I'm going to take this off for a second because that is going to bug me. And okay, what is this all about? What is Spartans TV all about? Well, Spartans TV is a new idea, a trial and error idea, dare I say, put on by Fairlands Valley Spartans with my support. Fairlands Valley Spartans is a not-for-profit running club based out of Stevenage in Hertfordshire. We have members all over the area though. I was going to say all over the country then, but I meant all over the area. I myself live in Boreham Woods, which is, a 20-25 minute commute to Stevenage. There are people all around Stevenage that are still members of the club, which is testament to how great the club is. So I wanted to help Spartans put on this show. It's not just going to be for members, and we'll get into that in a second. It's going to be for the running community generally. I just need to say I sound a bit rubbish. Getting my excuses out there early. I've got tonsillitis and I'm on day 2 of antibiotics. So prep time for this has been minimal, so please do bear with me. But things can only get better, as a great band once said. And Claire says I can hear you. Is it a good volume though, Claire? It's always difficult to gauge levels when you're going through multiple different platforms like I am tonight. We're going through YouTube and through Facebook. But anyway, let's not waffle too long as you can hear me. Just give me another thumbs up to say it's a good enough level. If I need to increase the level, let me know, because I can adjust volumes, and I'll keep an eye on the chat as and when people say that. So, the show, let's get on with it. Let's get into what this is all about. Oh, I've already skipped a couple of slides, silly me. When I put this slide together, I didn't think too much about my head position. Sharon and Tim there, getting nice and comfortable with the Fairlands Valley Spartan family. As I've already said, we're a not-for-profit club, running club based out of Stevenage. And this is a new show for everybody, but literally, who is it for? Well, it is mainly for our members, celebrating our members' achievements, their successes, getting across latest news and events to club members in a different format, really. There's lots of formats where members can digest information. Facebook page, there are 2 members only Facebook pages. There is an email newsletter that comes out. But I am a live streamer and I pitch to the club to live stream because I think it's a nice way to share the community. It can be a bit of a different way of sharing information. It doesn't have to be the same information either. And we can have a bit of fun with it, ultimately. That's the idea. Let's have a bit of fun with it. Let's get more people involved, and I'll talk about that in a second. I don't want to make it just about me, believe it or not. It's for the club, it's for the community, and I think it can be a bit of fun. And if things go well on YouTube, etc., we can really broaden our reach and maybe entice some new members into the club as well. It's not just for members though, so if you are someone that comes across this on YouTube or on our Facebook page and you're not already a member, maybe you're not even local, so you wouldn't ever be a member because you're just too far away, that's fine, because there's going to be information in here for the running community, running tips and tricks as well. I want to try and throw that in there too. And again, I need to lean on our members to make it work. How will it work? Indeed, how will it work? It's collaboration. It's collaboration from everybody. As I said, I don't want it to be just about me. For it to be successful, it needs to not just be about me, trust me. We need other people to get involved. And the first thing that every member can start doing is actually, when you're posting stuff, I know your friends and family get really frustrated and annoyed. My friends and family do when I was doing loads of half marathons and 5Ks and 10Ks and all that. And you keep banging on about your training on social media and you bang on about your PBs and stuff they're just not interested in. But you do all do that. You do all post pictures when you're at events, you post pictures when you finish races, you post pictures with your lovely medals, and that's all fantastic. And I know loads of the members post those things within the behind closed door social media elements of the club, so FVS stories and events, for example. But what we'd like you to do, or what I'd like you to do in particular, is when you're posting things on your own personal Instagram, your own personal Facebook pages, if you're on Twitter, just think about tagging in the club. I've got access to all of those apart from Twitter, actually. And it will enable me to see more content as well. So, you know, if you do a race, you're showing off a medal, whatever, and you can just say with thanks to FVS Spartans, FV Spartans even. I always did make that mistake, FVS Spartans, add an extra S in there. FV Spartans, we are FV Spartans. It's up there on every single social media platform. So just at FV Spartans on Facebook, at FV Spartans on Instagram. I'll see those and I'll be able to potentially use those on this live stream. I'm able to put up your pictures, video, that's important as well. Especially on Instagram and Facebook now, it's not just about pictures, it's about video as well. So when you're doing those selfies at the finish line, maybe if you're brave enough, think about hitting record and just doing a 5-10 second video clip. I've just done a PB, I've just finished this race. These people here are amazing, this medal's great, this cake was really yummy. Whatever, video it, because video gets more traction on all of those social media platforms now. Instagram's algorithm has completely changed. It's about video now. It will help the club. Ultimately, it will help the club with promotion, trying to get more members, trying to get people to see what a great club it's key to be part of. By the way, I can see people putting comments. I'm going to go through this little prezzo and then I'm going to dive into the comments. So please keep commenting, ask questions, feedback, anything at all. And hopefully you'll stick around and we can have a chat at the end as well. But yeah, tag the social medias, the FV Spartan social media, when you're doing things on your own personal social media. That gives me a way to get that content for this show, basically, weekly show. It won't always be on a Wednesday. It might be sometimes live at events. It might be live at some of the events we've got coming up. That would be the idea, to get out and about, so it won't just be me sat here in my little office. But that content's really, really key, so do keep it coming. The other key thing I need everybody to do, whether you're a member or a non-member, is jump onto YouTube. Whether you use it or not, please start using it. YouTube's really, really important for video. It's a search engine. It's the second largest search engine in the world. So people looking for running content are more likely to find it on YouTube than they ever will on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got 1,400 followers on our Facebook page, this Facebook page that a lot of you are watching on now. However, we've only got 53 on YouTube. So if a bunch of you could also follow on YouTube, that would be good, because there's benefits to the club in the long run. Not for profit club, but once we start doing things maybe well on YouTube, there's things that can benefit the membership, benefit the community. There's loads and loads of things that could happen if we do well on YouTube as well. So that's another ask. The lady underneath, questions. She's thoughtful, she's thinking about a question. Whether you're a member or a non-member, put your questions in the comments. They're key. They're key to drive conversation. They're key to understand what people want to know about running. You might be new to it. You might have been running for years and there's something you never thought of. And you suddenly like, how many gels should I take in a half marathon? That's always a good one. I've asked that before after about 5 years in the club. Any question, drop it in the comments right now. We might get to it tonight. We might get to it on another show. We might end up making a whole show about that question because it might be really, really good. No questions dumb, no questions silly. Everybody in the running community learns all of the time, even, you know, the really super fast guys and girls. So ask your questions. It's super, super key to keep this content going and keep it nice and vibrant. I have to grab a drink. If you only just joined, I've got tonsillitis, so throat's a bit sore and mouth's a bit dry. So what's next on the agenda? Yes, I wanted to mention, for non-members more than members, because most members should know this, our chosen charity of 2022 is the Garden House Hospice Care. They're a local charity, close to lots of members' hearts. Lots of people have done loads of good fundraising for them. It's been a funny couple of years, let's be honest, and things aren't great out there. I'm not going to go into politics, but we know, you know, the world's in a bit of turmoil at the moment. Charities really took a battering because of what happened. I'm not going to mention the P word or the C word, but charities took a battering. So everybody's trying to do everything they can for their favourite charities. But we choose a charity every year, and it's Garden House Hospice Care this year. So if there's anything you want to do, if you're local, if you can support us in any way to help raise money for them, it would be super appreciated. Get in touch, drop in a comment, drop a question, etc., etc. And the pictures are just to make things look pretty, by the way, but it's also showing you some different things that the members of Fairlands Valley Spartans get involved in. They get involved in track, they get involved in presentation evenings and going out in things other than lycra. They get involved in muddy old cross country during the winter season, and they get involved in park runs and things like that as well. This club, by the way, in other episodes we're going to go into different elements of the club, different sessions, because you might be a member that's never been to any of the other sessions. You might only stick to one type of session, so I think it might be helpful to give a little overview of all the different sessions at some point. But we will dive into all of that, because it's important for all members to understand all the aspects and not be afraid of any of those aspects, and get involved with as much as they can, because it will help you. It will 100% help you with your running. Even if you don't have a goal to get faster, it can still be really good for you. Okay, so next up, what I intended to do tonight, I was hopefully going to have some video content for you tonight, because I was supposed to go to a first aid course on Sunday. But as I say, we got some kind of throat infection. I'm saying it's tonsillitis, but it's some kind of throat infection. And those of you that know me know that I pick up things all the time. But we've got a little girl in nursery, 3 years old, so it's happening a lot at the minute. Anyhow, I was supposed to go to this first aid session. I didn't. The intention was, there was some amazing coaches there. Dave and Tessa were there, who are, you know, I think they've been in the club since it was founded in 1984. Don't tell me off if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong there. But they basically are the mother and father of our starter group, and it would have been amazing to get them on camera just talking about the starter group a little bit. We had, I think Nicky Wilby was there, Steve Smithson, great track coaches, both of them. We have our track sessions. I've got a picture there. That's actually Hazel Smith. I don't know if you're watching tonight, running around the track, and that was a post that Stefan, who's another great track coach, put up there, because he's been helping her improve at the track, and that's a whole nother show to talk about the track. The point is, there are loads of great coaches there. When I say coaches, by the way, I include leaders in that, leaders in running fitness. That's what I am. I'm not actually a coach, but I'm a leader, and we have lots of those that can take people out safely on a session, a running session. So we can take you through warming up dynamically, doing the actual session, like a session with a purpose, interval sessions, hill sessions, whatever it is, taking you through it safely with good advice, and then bringing you back safely and taking you through warm downs and stretches. So a good start to finish session, but also we're first aid trained. Not for profit club, but the membership fees go to things like making sure our coaches and our leaders are qualified, and making sure they're first aid trained as well. We have all the kit and all that kind of stuff too. So whew, that was a lot. I said that quickly, but I didn't make it because I was sick. I've said that. So hopefully some of those guys and girls will get in touch and drop videos to me anyway. If you're a coach or a leader, you've got anything to say, drop me a video about anything. Drop me a message, drop me an email, and we can start getting content in here. But something off the back of that I saw a post on in one of our pages the other day is this deal that the club has managed to get. I can't actually see it on my own screen now because it's so small. Let me just make that a little bit bigger. OneLifeID.com. So OneLifeID is really, really important. It doesn't matter whether you're a member or not watching this. It's really, really important when you go out running, especially if you go out running on your own, but also if you're in a race. Even if you start a race with friends and family, you may end up miles apart and there's hundreds of people in the race. Heaven forbid something happens to you. It's really, really important to have some kind of ID and in emergency contact information, ICE contact information on you, sorry. I know a lot of races, they make you put it on the back of the bib. I know a lot of people don't even bother filling that in. But these little things, there's a bundle, I think, for Spartans there's a discount code available in one of our pages. I'm not going to say it on here because I think it's just for Spartans. But I think it's £5.50 and you get 3 of them. So you can have 3 different pairs of shoes, running shoes, and you could lace these little tags onto all your different running shoes. And you've got all of your in case of emergency contact information on there. You know, whether you're diabetic, whether you've got any... my brain's gone. What's it called? When you're allergic, allergies. Whether you've got any allergies, who to contact in case of emergency. It's just a fantastic way of making sure that first aid and that first care gets to you as quickly as possible. So Spartans especially, take advantage of that. It's a bit of branding for you as well that will, nice little bling on your trainers. So let me just minimize that again. Now I can read it. Cool, right, so now this section of the show tonight, we're going to be talking about some Spartan shout-outs. Now, I know this is old news. This was back at the first week in March, or sorry, the second week in March, that Adrian Bussolini, and apologies if I murder anyone's names on this show. I don't mean to. Tell me off in the comments again. I want comments, by the way, people. Keep your no one's made any more comments while I've been jabbering on. Engagement is important on this show. Please give me some comments. But Adrian did such a great achievement. I just wanted to shout it out again. As I said, I don't want to rip off the newsletter that Jim Brown does, and the other press officers and social media officers do a great job of getting news out to all the Spartans, and that's all on our main website as well. And I don't just want to sit here on this live stream and read out that, because that's pointless. But this was a particularly cool effort from Adrian. So I'm going to make that bigger again because I can't see it otherwise. So Enigma Week at the Knees is an event that I didn't know about. Week at the Knees, get it? You go Week at the Knees because you're running a marathon every day for 7 days in a row, right? No break. I'm already tired thinking about it. I've only run one marathon and I was weak at the knees after half a marathon. But Adrian is one of our runners that has gone on to become a fantastic ultra runner, and he's really kind of trying out loads of different events at the moment. So he entered this. Not only is it 7 marathons, but the other thing I just wanted to shout out, it's running around 2 different lakes. The first 3 days, I think, of one particular lake, and then the other 4 days, the back 4 days, were another lake. Okay, so you've got to change your scenery, and I think on the days they reverse the route. But it's doing laps of a lake. Mentally difficult, as well as physically difficult, in my opinion. It's 183.4 miles around 2 lakes, basically. That's crazy. So it just needed a shout out. But not only is it mentally tough and physically tough, he won every single one of the marathons. And he almost did his best ever PB, I think, on the first one by it was 5 minutes off, I think. So obviously, because he won every single one, he won overall. I'm making it sound like super easy. You need to go to Adrian, has his own blog, thetrailexplorer.co.uk. He's got a fantastic write-up on there about his trials and tribulations, about each of the days, because it wasn't plain sailing. I mean, looking at that and going, yeah, he won. He set a new record for the event that has lasted since 2014. He knocked 39 minutes and 24 seconds off it with a total time of 22 hours, 56 minutes and 11 seconds for all 183.4 miles. When you look at it like that and you see him smiling with all his fantastic medals around his neck, oh yeah, it's easy. But go and read thetrailexplorer.co.uk and you'll see it wasn't easy, and he really had to battle. So massive shout out. Need to get some sound effects on this live stream, but a massive shout out to Adrian. I know a lot of you have seen that already, but I just wanted to shout that out, and also publicise his blog, because it's really good. If you're ever thinking about getting into different types of trail running, different events, longer events, Adrian's doing a lot of it. There's another guy, John Nelms, fantastic member. He's doing it too, but I don't know if John's got his own blog, but Adrian certainly has. So go check that out. The other 2 little bits of news that I picked up before I got sick, actually, or whilst I got sick Sunday night, so I saw these Sunday, with Nick and Georgie. I've got to make this bigger again. I can't read what I've written because it's a small screen I'm looking at. They were at the Stafford Half Marathon and they both did PBs. Nick knocked 3 minutes and 50 seconds off his PB, coming in at 1:34.01. So clearly, Nick, you must have a target to get sub 1:30 now. You must have. I don't know if Nick's watching, but pop a comment, let us know. And Georgie ran a 5-minute PB, knocking another 5 minutes off and coming in at 1:47.58. So Georgie, you must be looking for that sub 1:45. Gotta be. But that's a great bit of news. This other picture, I can't even remember the names of the ladies in this picture, but I just saw it flash up on one of our pages and just thought it's fantastic. And it epitomises what Fairlands Valley Spartans is all about. It's having fun, it's being a little silly, it's going out with your friends. I don't think all of these ladies are in the Spartans. Correct me if I'm wrong again in the comments. I personally don't know them all. But yeah, it just flashed up and I was like, that's brilliant. That's exactly what being a member of any running club really, but especially Fairlands Valley Spartans is all about. It's having a bit of fun. Someone's just said, I just saw Nicola say, look at those wallies. Exactly. What a bunch of wallies, but they had smiles on their faces, being wallies and going for a run. Someone let me know why they did that. There was no context to it. It was just a picture saying fun on a Sunday, I think. And I don't know why they decided to go out as a bunch of wallies. Maybe they just felt like it. Well done. Good stuff. Okay, so now we're getting into the section of the show tonight, and as I said, there's not been a massive amount of preparation for this first show. Things can only get better, where this is more for everybody, whether you're a member or not, and it's the tips and tricks section. And I definitely need some help on this, because I don't want to just do all the tips and tricks that I know, because I'm not even that massively experienced. I've been running about 9 years, and I've only done one marathon, but I've done lots of stuff in between. But tips and tricks is something I'm keen to do, because I think this channel, this show, should be about running in general, as I said, the community in general. And I just wanted to start with the wet test, because there's nothing better than a good wet test, in my opinion. No, seriously, I'm being silly. You may have heard, or you may not have heard, of a thing called runner's gait. And you may have heard or may not have heard of having your gait analysis assessed, okay? I think anybody, I ran for 2 years in a pair of trainers that I picked off the internet, and I didn't really think about it. And then I started to get injuries because I started to train a bit more, and I started to enter a few races, and I was still wearing the same pair of trainers. And it wasn't until I got speaking to some of the other coaches, etc., and someone said, "Have you had your gait analysis done?" Well, that sounds scary. What the hell does that mean? Well, you go to a shop, or you go to a university, I think they said to me, and you run on a treadmill. They record you and they tell you what your gait is, and therefore what type of running shoe to get. And I was like, there's different types of running shoes. I just thought you picked the ones you liked, the look of and the price. And I've got to be recorded running. It all just sounded a bit scary, right? But then I was on sportshoes.com, because sportshoes.com, we have a discount code with Fairlands Valley Spartans, and that's where I used to get all of my kit from. I still do sometimes, but not for a while, and I'll talk about that in a second. And I found this thing called the wet test. It's now buried in their website. I think actually this image I didn't even get off sportshoes.com because I couldn't find it, but it used to be a bit more prominent. And it's a much simpler way for a beginner runner with confidence, who may not want to go into a shop and have some guy or girl videoing them running on a treadmill. You may not want to do that. I understand that, right? You could just get out of the shower or the bath, or you could get a bowl of water and dip your foot in it and stick your foot on something where you can see your footprint. They recommend you do it on like a brown manila envelope, because you get a nice print then. But it's very simple. You either have a high arch, a normal arch, well done for being normal, or what they call a flexible arch. And depending on what type of arch you have from your print, you can see there, and you can look this up on Runner's World. Just search Runner's Wet Test and you'll find it on Google. And it advises you whether to wear a stability shoe, a more cushioned shoe, a neutral shoe, and then you can search for those type of shoes. So I would advise anyone to do that, because if you're running in the wrong type of shoe, you've not got the right support, over time as you increase your mileage, you are more likely to get injured if you're not running in the right type of shoe. There are arguments against this, or arguments against we're not designed as humans to even wear trainers. We should be running barefoot, and there's a whole barefoot running episode we could do. But for the most of us, for your average person going out jogging or running for the first time and getting into it and building up mileage and stuff, do this please and get the right type of shoe. My other big tip is what I said a second ago. I used to buy all my shoes online. Buying shoes online, whether they're trainers or shoes, is a tricky business, because you don't know what they feel like. You don't know how heavy they are. You don't know if they fit you properly, the width, the length. There's too many things when you get it in the post that can go wrong. My advice is go into a shop and try on as many different brands as you want. I decided when I first started running that the Mizunos looked really good, if I'm saying that wrong, sorry. And I just became a brand advocate for Mizuno and wore them for about 4 years. And then when I went to this shop in Norwich, only a few years ago, where they actually let me go outside and run in the shoes. They weren't bothered about them going up and down on the tarmac, as long as you weren't going for a half marathon. So they let you run up and down in the shoes, which was fantastic. And they had 10, 15 different brands in there. They had end-of-life shoes that had been replaced. You know, some of them were 2 seasons old that they still had my size in. It was fantastic. I ended up buying 3 different pairs of shoes at the same price I went in there with the intention of buying this particular set of new Mizunos for. So that's my other tip and trick. Try shoes on. Go to different shops. Try and go to shops that they've got a good choice and try them on, because you don't know until you put them on what they feel like. You don't know until you've run in them for a little while what they feel like as well. So, bang, that's that one. I'm going along that too long. Oh, by the way, this image that I've got there is actually off an article I found on Google where I think it was a few years ago. People were going into a particular running shop and the people weren't qualified to do the gait analysis. You can see someone on a laptop watching someone run. And they were giving the wrong advice and people were getting injured. So if you do decide to go for the gait analysis, talk to other club members, drop a message, drop a comment, and people will advise you where the reputable places are. I think Runners Need do it, and their guys are pretty well trained. There's a place in Watford that I've been to and had my gait analysis assessed before. And by the way, do it regularly, because your gait can change, especially when you put on weight. I've put on weight recently. It can flatten out your arches. It did for me. So make sure it's a regular thing that you do, especially when you increase your mileage. Boom, I've waffled on for that far too long. So from a Spartans point of view, FVS point of view, what's coming up, things to look out for at the minute that the club needs you to get involved with. Midweek League, the 10K League. Now, if you're a member of the club, I need a drink. Sorry, I'm going to break right in the middle of a sentence. I talk fast. Tell me to slow down. If you're a member of the club and you've been in particular sessions, steady runs, you've only really been doing 5Ks, you may have come in on the starter group, which is very similar to a couch to 5K type of setup. You may have done couch to 5K. You may look at announcements at the club like, we need your support at the Midweek League. And it sounds, the word league already sounds a bit scary. I know it does. When I first joined the club, people started going, oh, you're coming to the Midweek League? And I was like, what's that? It's a 10K race against other clubs. No. But it's not that. Honestly, it's basically, if you're trying to step up to 10K, it's perfect. If you're thinking about entering a 10K race and you've never entered a race before in your life, and you think it's scary and going and getting your race number and the hundreds of people and all of that, the Midweek League is the perfect place to try out racing, because you're with all of your Spartan family. There's normally between 50 and 70 other Fairlands Valley Spartans. You see, oh, I'm doing that. I'm going to quickly just swap to this. You see everybody in their nice stripy vests, the Fairlands Valley Spartan vests. You meet people that you may not have ever met before. You're running with them. It's just brilliant. Oh, and there's a buffet. There's a buffet at the end. So when you're finished, there's food and you can have a chat, and it's in the summer, so it's nice weather. Midweek League is brilliant. Don't be afraid of it. Give it a try. You don't have to think about racing and winning and all of that. And there's a complicated point scoring system that we can explain to you at a later date. Just go and be part of it. If you need to be able to run 10K, let's say that first. You ideally need to be able to run 10K without walking, but you can do a bit of walking. I don't think there's a major cut-off, but it's just brilliant. Get involved in that. It's coming up. Speak to Callie and Mark Freeman, the team captains, and they can give you all the information. The first fixture, I think, is in Stevenage as well, so we have to host it. So not only do we need to make sure we've got plenty of people running in the field, but we also need to have marshals and other volunteers to help make the race actually happen. So it's really, really key that the Spartan family come together to kick off the Midweek League season in style and show all the other clubs that we have the best buffet. Oh, and we've got some good runners too. And then we have the Masters Athletics season coming up as well. Another great fun event that happens throughout the summer. Again, it's competing against other clubs, so you get to see other people exactly the same as us. You do need, the reason it's called Masters is you need to be over 35 years of age, men and women. But you can have a go at like things you did in school sports day and you may not have ever done since. There's track events, there's lots of running and all of that kind of stuff, but there's also all the athletic stuff. So there's javelin and shot put and hammer and long jump and hurdles and everything. And if you go down to the track on a Saturday, you can get, you know, a chance to try those things to see if you want to have a go at them. And be honest, you don't have to be absolutely epic at any of them. Some of these events, it's about having people compete and just chuck and score to actually get enough points to qualify for the finals and things like that. So it's just something that the club is part of. There's lots of members that are really keen on it. We just always need people to go to it. And it's just really good fun. It honestly is really good fun. I did it for 2 years, but then I moved to Boreham Wood and life changed and stuff, and I haven't been able to get over in evenings at the minute. 3-year-old at nursery giving us germs is the main problem. But it's something I'd get back into as soon as I can, for sure. So give it a shout. Andrea Westcott posted about it, I think, this week in FES Stories Events. Give her a shout. Dave and Tessa Stevenson, they're really good with information on this as well. So Andrea, Dave, Tessa, give them all a shout. Mark as well. So yeah, those are the things that are coming up. So finally, before I dive into comments, and hopefully we've got some questions and things, I just wanted to say how you can get in touch. If you want to get in touch, if you want to be part of the show, please have some other people be part of the show. You can send me video content. You can send video content of, you at an event somewhere in the country, park runs, whatever. Send me content. If you want to zoom in or, come in on some kind of conferencing system into the show, instead of just me talking to camera right now, we can have someone that we talk to, we have an interview with, whether it's a coach, whatever. I'm talking to you, Brian White, I'm talking to all of the coaches, I'm talking to the team captains. Get on here and give me your announcements, or pre-record them in the comfort of your own home with your smartphone. Send them to kilroyfilm77@gmail.com, and then I can use that content in the show, and it's not just me waffling on. So yeah, if you've got any ideas, anything you want to discuss, you may not be brave enough to put it in the comments, so you may just want to email it to me. Please, can you discuss this? Do that. Send it. Give me ideas on what we can discuss in this show and make it interesting for everybody else. Anybody who's not a member, you can email as well, by the way, if you're not a member. Ask questions, etc. But, oh, I'm scratching. Sorry, I might have messed the mic up there. But if you're not a member and you want to know more about the club, then there's our website, fespartans.org.uk. And as I've already said, FE Spartans on all of the social medias, so Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, you can find FE Spartans as well. And we're broadcasting live on the FE Spartans Facebook page right now. So yeah, that's that bit. I'll leave that up there for a second. Let's just jump to this camera. Let's have a change of scenery. Let's look at you over there now. You can see my lovely Spartan area. I don't know if you can tell. That there is a Spartan helmet, fancy dress helmet. I couldn't light it up very well. And I've got the half marathon t-shirt and medal. I didn't actually run it. That's the medal from when I did run it, but the t-shirt from volunteering last year. And a couple of medals from Spartans Fairlands Valley Challenge. I can't point in the right direction. Anyway, that's my Spartans corner over there. So let's have a look now at comments and see if anybody's got anything they want to discuss or talk about. I've just got to scroll back. So Nicola said hello. So hello, Nicola. I hope you're still there. Claire said hi. Hi, Claire. How are you? I can hear you. Thank you, Claire. Well, good job. I checked that actually before we started talking, didn't I? Callie, team captain. Come on, Callie. Get some comments in there about the midweek league. Nicola Durrant said you can hear fine. Susan Murphy, hello. Caroline, hello to you. Sam Simmons, are you still there, mate? Yes, Jimbo, with a blue heart. Is that Fairlands Valley Spartans heart? Pete Smith said he was running off the front of Group F yesterday. I am assuming you're talking about Adrian, because I talked about Adrian doing 7 marathons. Yeah, he is a fantastic runner, isn't he? Energetic. Susan Murphy, whoop whoop, look at us. Were you one of the Wallies, Susan? Why were you doing that? Let me know. Let us all know. Why were you there being a Wally? Amanda Vickers with a big red heart. I'm assuming you might have been one of the Wallies too. Let us know. Susan Murphy. Nicola said, look at those Wallies. Susan Murphy said, we are. We are. Are you a Wally? Is that what you're saying? Oh, yes, we're all Spartans. So everyone in the picture was a Spartan, Judy says. Brilliant. I didn't realise that. And Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. I've run in Group A with Stephanie a couple of times. And I saw Stephanie at the Stevenage Half Marathon as well with Nicola. So, yeah, you're all Spartans. Great. Well done. But why? Why did you do that? Maybe you've said further down in the comments. Why were you dressed as Wallies? All Spartan. Nicola said all Spartans and 2 Spartan kids. Brilliant. Oh, okay. Stephanie has said. I'm catching up with comments. Sorry. So they were fundraising for national literacy. Brilliant. Well done. And that makes sense. Where's Wally? Literature. Although it's more pictures, isn't it? But literature. It makes sense. You should have posted a link with your picture in the group. Well, actually, I don't know if the club has rules about loads of, they probably do, actually, because everybody's always raising money for charity in the running world. We have our chosen charity, so ignore me. But post it on your own personal pages, I'm sure you have. And you're all part of, Judy says, you're all part of the starters group. It was a virtual charity run. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You should have mentioned that in the group, though, because people may have then private messaged you to say, oh, give us a link. Nicola said, how often should you get your gait checked? Well, hopefully Pete is still around, because Pete is one of our really experienced I think Pete is qualified as a coach rather than a leader. If you're still there, Pete, let us know. I don't know what your recommendation is on how often you should get your gait analysed. I would do the wet test, every couple of months. You're getting in and out of the shower or the bath anyway, so you can always do your average wet test anytime you want to give you a rough idea. But to go and get your actual gait analysis checked, I'd say at least once a year, depending on how much you're running. If, like me, you haven't run really in the last 18 months, there's no point. But when I start running again, I will go and get my gait checked, because it's bound to have changed. I've put on weight, so my running gait will have changed anyway. Everything would have changed. My stride, where I land, everything would have changed. I went through a period of doing lots of track running and doing a technique called pose running to try and improve my technique. So your gait changes when you change the way you run. So if anything in your body changes, your physicality changes, then your gait is likely to change as well. So just think about it like that. If something massive has changed in your life since you last had it checked, go and get it checked again. That's what I would say, but probably annually is a good shout. But if anyone else has got any advice on that, drop it in the comments. David Scott, our club chairman, I had a picture of you. You might have missed it. He said, evening all, a bit late to the party. That's quite all right. It's recorded anyway, so you can watch it back anytime you like. I'm scrolling wrong. Marie says, defo recommend a gait analysis. I used to suffer from pain in my hips and also get shin splints from running. I now have a pair of Brooks, which helps prevent my feet overpronating. So much better when I run. Brilliant. We've got someone who has done it and seen improvements from it, as did I. There you go. Perfect. And Stephanie says, I love the track on a Saturday. That's really good to hear. I used to go to the track when I could, as often as I could, when I lived in Stevenage, because I just saw so many more gains in the way I was running that improved, that improved my overall running posture, my running gait, my running efficiency from going to the track and listening to people at the track. The coaches at the track, they're not necessarily more qualified than the people that you might have on a session on a Tuesday or a Thursday or whatever, but they have more time because you're running around the track. They can look at you. It's not that they're going to give you one-to-one coaching, because it's still a voluntary basis, not-for-profit club. But it's generally a smaller group. Generally, you're obviously running around a track, so people can see how you're running far more than when you go out on a Thursday night or a Tuesday night in big groups. So, yeah, the track is just a great place, and there's some fantastic coaches. And if you ask them, they can give you advice. So, yeah, I'm glad that Stephanie says she loves the track. Nicola says, I've only had my gait done when I first started running. Best go soon then. So how long ago was that, Nicola? I can't remember when you started running, but you used to run when you were younger, obviously. So you mean first restarted running. Stephanie's been learning all the throwing events. Oh, brilliant. I didn't know that. Well done. So yeah, that's the other thing. When you're at the track, invariably there will be some of the guys from the EMAC team, the Masters team, that will be then doing a training session on some of the throwing and stuff, and they'll let you join in and they'll show you how to do it. So that's awesome. We've come to the end of the comments on Facebook. I haven't seen any comments on YouTube, which is a shame. We need people. Join YouTube, everybody. Subscribe to YouTube. So I don't think we've got any comments on YouTube. Have I got it? I've got it on live chat, yes. And we've been going, 47 minutes on YouTube, but I started about 5-10 minutes early. yeah, so this is about the right time for this show. We don't want to drag it on too long unless the conversation's really flowing, and then there's no problem. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the starting show. Obviously, I want to improve it. We want to make it better and better week on week on week. And we need you to help us do it. We need everybody to get involved. I'm talking to Spartans who are not on here live now. I'm talking to Spartans that are going to watch this back. I'm talking to members of the public that are going to watch this back, hopefully. Get in touch. Let me go back to that one. That one. I like that one. Get in touch either directly to me on my email, kilroyfilm727@gmail, or through the club website, or through comments on this video, whether you're watching it on Facebook or on YouTube. And tell me what you'd like to see us talk about. What do you want to know about? What questions do you have? I'm not seeing any more comments. So feedback on what you think of this first show with not much preparation. I just wanted to get it out there as quickly as possible. We'll be back next week, hopefully. Give us your feedback. Let me know. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. You're all amazing. Keep running. Keep chugging. I'm going to put the video on while I turn things off. I forgot in my haste and my illness. Have I mentioned I'm ill? I forgot to do a thank you for watching video. So I'm just going to put the first one back on again. See you all later.